Hello, just 1 second here. Okay. Okay, happy Tuesday. All right, everyone. I'm assuming you can hear me. And if you can't, let me know in the chat. Um, I received lots of questions today. Like a lot has come through. I'm trying to remember them all because it's like, whoa, a lot. I just kind of went through all the questions. Um, I'm going to say a few things first. There's a lot of crazy energy out there. We're all feeling it, right? And when you really feel it, it feels very uncomfortable. Um, Ways to stay above it. Seriously, it's self care. It's taking care of you to the best of your ability, knowing that it's hard to always stay up. You might dip, and then you climb back out and you dip again, you climb up. But the awareness, the fact that you know you're dipping, or you're like, oh, I'm off, something that means you have more awareness than most people out there. So be kind to yourself and say, you know what, I'm doing okay. Because where you are is perfect and evolving. Just be kind to yourself and don't overthink that I should be somewhere else. I should be in a better spot. I should be more healthy. I should be more mentally stable. I should have this. I should have that. Just take it in stride. Like you are where you are, and when you kind of just surrender to that and saying, okay, I am where I am, I'm just going to be the best that I can be and have no regrets from conversations you may have had where you said something silly or you did something like, when you go to bed at night and you have that replay. I usually have a replay. So as a lot of you know, I did an open house last. Thankfully, it was just one day last weekend, one day the weekend before. It's energetically very draining. Those things. It's, I don't know. I need a day or so to recover. But at the end of it, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't get to say bye to the person. Or I didn't spend enough time here, and maybe this wasn't good. Maybe that wasn't good. And then you can go kind of like totally insane in your mind, and you just have to say, you know what? I did the best I can in that situation, and just really let it go. And when you might send someone an email to say something, and it's like, they're like, yeah, not a big deal. And so it's a big deal to us. So let's say, you had a conversation with someone on the street, and then you think, oh my gosh, I haven't seen that person in so long, and I divulged so much information. I'm kind of embarrassed by it. But most likely that person didn't even mind, didn't care, didn't even notice. It's us that replay, was I good enough, not good enough, worrying about the future, regretting the past, when really our power is in the now. So I get a lot of people saying, like, how do I stay in that present moment? It's work, guys. It's work. It's work. It's work. It's being in that place like you're a computer program that is always looking at um viruses, right? So to me, a virus is like negative energy coming at me. And once I start to hear negative thoughts, you're going to fail, you're not good enough, I know it's false. But if I don't get on top of that negative thought, another one's going to come in 16 seconds. And then another one's going to come in. So I'm constantly going, okay, got another one. I'm dissolving it, or maybe I look too weird to some people. So the second, thank you for that. So the open house was fun. The second one, there's a lot of people I've never met before. A lot of people off the street who saw it have come in. So very interestingly, like, I don't know if they know what I do. So they might just think I'm some weird chick who's opening some resort. But you just have to like just be you, and who cares what people think? And I know that, I know that. But on the day of the open house, I put on, like, I call it my guru shirt. It's white. I think it's so beautiful. It's from India. And my son looked at me and he goes, seriously, mom? Like, you're weird. We get it. But, you never know who's going to come in. So then I changed, looked more corporate. And my partner, Sim, said, why did you change? I said, because apparently I still care what people think. And he laughed. He goes, well, it is very human of us to do that. So we're all human. It doesn't matter, we're all evolving. We all still care about what people think. It's normal, but give yourself a break. We're all in this together. I'm just going to drink some of my tea. Sorry. I have a bit of a tickle in my throat, which has been here for how many months or years lately, it seems. Another thing is we can hold ourselves in positive light and say, I am the light, I am this, but you can't really hold yourself in higher consciousness if you think other people are in the dark or lower than you. So, you just kind of hear people chatting and whatnot. And it's a hard thing to kind of explain, but I'm going to explain it like this. So, let's say I'm standing at a corner and people are walking by. Sometimes the exercise I'll do is I will look at each person as a being of God, because we all have God within us. And we all have free will to say yes to that part of us or to say no to it. But in the end, we all are creations of God. Even fear is just the absence of the light. So fear is just so far removed from God's source that it doesn't remember where it came from. So we all have duality. We all have the part of us that wants to love everyone unconditionally. You can love the mailman like you love your husband. And people think that's so strange. Like, how can you do that? But you just love everything and everyone. Now, that does not mean I have to allow someone who's not expressing the love with them and they're being mean to be mean to me. No, it doesn't mean that. I can be discerning on who I hang out with, who I spend time with, but I don't think that person's lower than me. I just think, well, they just haven't found that spark of love within them. And that used to be my biggest weakness because I can see everyone in that light. And when you see people in that light, I used to just walk towards anyone in any situation. And I had no fear because, well, if they're coming from God source, like why would I be fearful of their attitude or the way they're acting because they have a spark of divinity in them? What took me a while to realize and years to realize is we all have that spark of God, that connection, but not everyone is acknowledging it. So, in this lifetime, we may want to avoid the person who is kind of got the blackened heart that is doing bad things willingly because that's what they want to do. So, I now would not go and ask that person, would you like a healing? Maybe I can help you. They don't want my help. They're quite happy in what they're expressing in this lifetime. So I've now learned that, okay, give them the space, but I don't think they're lower than me. They're not someone I want to hang out with. I don't want them hurting me. But in the end, I send them love. And, may one day, maybe not this lifetime, but may they find that love that they come from. And may they realize they can go back home at any time. So, like we have these leaders in the world we're not so happy about. Instead of saying, he's this and that, yeah, they are. But at the same time, beaming love their way, might shed some of that darkness around them so they can start feel their heart center and say, you know what, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I am a good person inside. Maybe I want to be that good person. So it's everyone's on their own journey. So we try not to be judgmental. We're not trying to say, hey, you have to follow my way because my way is the right way. No, it's not the right way. My way is right for me. It's what I'm following my heart. So even when I'm talking, some people might resonate with me and some people say, okay, no, this girl's words don't match what I believe. And that's okay too. Because when we stop worrying about pleasing everyone, we're getting there. So back in the day, if you asked me, Brenda, how many people don't like you? I would say, oh, nobody doesn't like me. Everyone likes me because I could be the perfect girlfriend, the perfect friend, the perfect coworker, perfect worker, perfect this, perfect that, because I knew how to cater to anybody who came into my life because I could anticipate their needs. I could anticipate what they wanted me to say. I could anticipate, so I was just changing and morphing to make everyone like me. Now, if you ask me how many people don't like you, I have a lot of people that don't like me. but I just stopped pleasing them. I'm just who I am. And if you like me, you like me. And if you don't, hey, that's okay too. So it's kind of a big step to get there. Not that I don't like being liked. I mean, we all do, but you just realize when you're coming from a place of your authentic self, you're not going to be able to please everyone. And sometimes it's those close relationships where we want to please, but we just don't want to please them anymore because we're changing. Now, when we have, say, a married couple and you're not seeing eye to eye anymore, well, it doesn't mean that you don't love each other. It doesn't mean you hate each other. It just means maybe you're together, but you're not really serving each other. So, a lot of relationships in this time are slowly dissolving, and people are scared because I want to stay with this person because they're comfortable. I want to stay with this person because, it's security. I don't want to hurt their feelings. But sometimes when those natural breakups happen, you're both benefiting because you're almost like allowing each other to grow. So there's a lot of people that hang on to things they don't want to let go of, or a good friend, or a routine. And right now we're just shaking things up for change. So sometimes relationships will change. So a lot of people are feeling alone because their friends don't get them anymore because they're on a spiritual path. They're changing the way they're thinking. They don't want to do the same things they used to. And then their friends kind of don't invite them anymore. Or you can just be in a room and you almost just have to be quiet because your friends don't really care what you have to say anymore. And it can be hurtful. So a lot of people, and it's happening at every age, from like people in their 70s, 60s, 50s, 20s, like my friends don't get me. I don't have any friends. But the beauty is there's more people opening up more than ever. So 12, 13 years ago, when I would talk to people about energy work, and they'd be like, okay, they didn't get it. Well, think about it now. You can actually have some pretty cool conversations with even strangers out there. And like if you're in the supermarket and you're smiling at someone, most people will actually say, like, how are you holding a smile in such a dreary time? And I think about it, I'm like, shit, it's dreary. I didn't even notice that. And it's very interesting because, hmm, I realize what it is because they're in that octave of where human consciousness is. And when you're there, oh my gosh, you can feel all that uncomfortable stuff. But if you raise your consciousness and you're above it, that is where there's only happiness, joy, security. There's no fear, worry, hatred, nothing like that. And I get told by so many people, Brenda's in La La Land. And it kind of hurts like this much. And it hurts because, yeah, I stay in La La Land for a few reasons. Because staying in that regular 3D environment is so painful. It's very draining. You feel everything. And I just feel like so grateful that I'm able to live in that La La Land where you're just feeling the love of God and you're getting positive messages and you're loved. And when I dip, I get those bad messages. You're gonna fail. This sucks. Blah blah blah. I'm just like, seriously, why do I want to be in this frequency? So everything is frequency. So if bad messages are here and I'm in that frequency, I'm going to hear all those bad messages, whether they're directed at me or not. And those frequencies, what from my experience, they kind of prey on our weaknesses. So for instance, my weakness is okay, people are going to think you're crazy, you're going to fail, so and so. Somebody else might have a weakness, or something that really bothers them, like you're supposed to cheating on you, and that's their weakness. So then they're going to get bombardment of, oh, you're supposed to cheating on you, and it's to make them worried and fearful. Another person might be scared of sicknesses. So, oh, you're going to get sick, or your family's going to get sick, and they're not going to be and then they get worried about that. So this dark energy kind of has a consciousness. It's almost broadcasting what I don't want to hear, my biggest fears, or what irritates me. So when I start to feel that irritation, those thought patterns that I don't like, I have to say, I just tell everyone, that's it. I need some downtime. I'm going to go meditate. And meditation, what is that? It's very different for everyone and how they're going to reconnect. And it might be different for someone on a different day. And it's true. So some days I'll just sit quietly and listen to music. Some days I'll just stare at a white wall. Sometimes I'll journal. Sometimes I'll take a walk outside and just like talk out loud because no one's around. Sometimes I'll do whatever I need to, whatever feels good to me. Sometimes I'll just ground, take off my shoes and just ground to the floor and talk to Mother Earth and ask her to bring energy up to me. Sometimes I'll do my all these little exercises, these tapping to kind of push out the energy. I am not immune to these human feelings. The only difference between me and a lot of people is I've had 13 years of practicing. And trust me, it was hard to I spent a lot of time in depression or sadness or fear or this or that. A lot of times crying. Oh my gosh, like I never want to repeat that. But I enjoy knowing that experience. So when people say, I'm going up and down, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Oh yeah, I was there. Like, isn't it so crazy? You just feel like, what the heck? You're so in your mind that you just think you're gonna like explode or nothing makes sense. But when you're in that negative phase, then negative thoughts happen. And then what happens? Negative things come in. It was really interesting. I don't know where I heard this, but it totally took a totally different spin of my understanding. And they said, whatever you think about gets bigger. So, of course, if we're in fear, then we're going to bring in more things that show up in our life that are fearful. But they said, here's a good example: the boy who cried wolf. Well, he cried wolf, to get the attention and whatnot. Then he did it again, and then he did it again. And then what manifested in his life? The most fearful reality of what he was just mimicking or lying about. So when we focus on a negative thought, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, then what happens? What you are thinking about. And in today's reality, where the energies are stronger than ever before, we don't want to manifest bad things. So we don't want to worry about sickness. We don't want to worry about our children being sick or this and that or sad, because with that manifestation, this energy might kind of add that energy to the situation. So whenever I am thinking about my children, my clients, my business, me, I always say we're happy and thriving. We're happy and thriving, and the best things that are supposed to happen are happening to these people. And I don't like say what's going to happen, because I don't know what's in their path, in their journey, what's in their growth. But if I just send out a generality saying, hey, may whatever is best for them happen, may they thrive, may they be happy, may their dreams come true, may all that good stuff happen, well, I'm pushing them in a positive direction. So when I see someone who I love very much kind of like spin into a downward negative thought pattern, and they kind of want a little bit of attention because they're feeling sorry for themselves, I just say, listen, you can stay in your victim mentality and oh, poor me, whatever. I am not coming down there with you, because I don't serve you if I do. I'm going to stay in my high vibration. I'm going to hold the light for you, and hopefully you'll come up. But when they're down, the last thing they want is me around. So I kind of keep my distance, but I am seeing them in light. I'm seeing them in happiness. I'm seeing them in joy. And lo and behold, shortly after, that's where they are. But if I said, oh, so and so so depressed or this or that, and sometimes I do that because, sometimes I kind of get back into my humanness and I forget. And all of a sudden that person gets worse. I'm like, oh, okay, wait, come to my senses. No, that person is thriving and happy and pulling them that way. So we are creating our own reality based on our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our words. But when we're living life and it's hard with everything going on right now, we're like in this tidal wave and it's hard and it's heavy. And then why don't we just say it's fun and challenging, and eventually we're going to get somewhere beautiful, and this whole swirling of energies and all this stuff that's happening is for the highest good of humanity and planet Earth. and we're going to look back and say, wow, we made it, we did it, we're here. I don't want to do it again in anytime soon. But you ever go through something that's so horrific and you make it because you almost have to, but then when you're done, you're like, oh my goodness, I never want to do that again. I never want to experience that again. I think that's what's going to happen when we fast forward 10 years from now, look back and say, oh my goodness, why did we come on a mission to do Ascension again? It's so difficult. But it's difficult because we can't see the whole picture. We're living the life of a human person. Like, we're spiritual beings living a human life. And when you're in the human life, we don't have that broader wisdom of our higher self, but we can tap into it. And that's why when we kind of get into that higher consciousness, realize like this is just really not real. We're living something that's not real. It's an illusion. It's a place where we're experiencing and growing, but our trueness is really huge and looking at holding the light around us. So when you kind of get that broader perspective, nothing can get you down. But when you're living it, oh my gosh, we can all feel like down. I'm just gonna look at a question here. Um, so okay, all right, that's funny. So someone was saying like when um so okay, this is kind of a really neat example what someone's asked, and I think I get the gist of it. So as you open up to spirituality, you're finding yourself and you have some wisdom, or you feel you have wisdom, and you start talking and telling people, and then people will say, oh, you think you know you're a know-it-all now, you're some guru, you're doing this, you're doing that. And in those I mean in those circumstances, generally I don't go around telling people anything anymore, because what I realize is there are people who can handle what I'm saying. There's people who are going to run away from me. So I've kind of learned that even like, say, I'm in a household of people. There might be some people who like what I have to say, and some people like, oh gosh, she's going off again. So in front of those people, I generally just stay quiet and send love. I mean, at first we get very excited about this stuff and you want to tell the world. And when you get into that phase, you're going to realize there's a lot of people that don't want to hear it. And then they're going to say those things, that make you feel, um, inadequate or outcasted or different. And then you're going to want to be quiet, and then you're just going to stop it. But then what you're going to learn is you're going to just know who you can talk to and who you can't. And if there's family members you're living with, well, you might go to an event and everyone's laughing at you. They want to talk to you. Oh, crazy's here again. So generally, I'll just stay quiet in those situations. But sometimes the unexpected person will reach out and say, hey, that stuff you talk about? I'm kind of interested in it. But that's just because they're inner being, they're ready to know the information. So, when you're dealing with someone who's like a mother-in-law or a brother or a sister or whoever that's not on the same page, just know that they can't really hear you. Because I think it was a comic book I saw once, or I said I was going to create a comic book where, okay, so someone walks in, they got roses and they're happy and there's sunshine and rainbows all around them. And then there's a grumpy old man said, this law of attraction cannot be true, because there is no way I would have created that in my reality. And they just showed a big difference in vibration. And and it made me laugh. Like, I don't know where I saw it. I think I was gonna create that comic one day. But that's it's true. Like, how did that high vibrational person come into somebody's life that is so low? Is it to pick on them? Is it to frustrate them? Or if you're high vibrating, someone will say, well, I'm so high vibrating now, I am not going to bump into any more 3D people who are closed-minded. It doesn't work that way either. We're still mingling, we're still learning, we're still bumping into people that we may not want to. But at the same time, look at every situation from an aspect of your higher self. It's like the Christ consciousness, that energy that loves everything and everyone. And then people around you don't get irritating. You just look at them like, oh, okay, well, they're at that doing that again, or they're saying that again. And it's not like you pity them. You just honor where they are and you just kind of let them be, but you send them love that not out loud, hey, I love you, I want you to get better, follow me. No, not like that, because you can irritate them. But if you're just sending them love and holding presence for them, they sometimes or somehow feel it and they might feel better. Like if you ever sat in front of someone and just says, the God in me is looking at the God in you. And if you just stare at each other, it can be a very emotional, like, wow. It's like, I'm being seen for what I truly am, not what I look like, not this spacesuit, not this, how many of us have issues with our body or what we look like or what we sound like or whatever, right? But our true essence is what's there. And if you start to see people for their true essence, everyone's kind of beautiful in their own way. And you're just like, wow. And then you're just in love with everything. So you might have to start off small, because if you're looking at your mother-in-law who you don't necessarily like and say, okay, I don't feel the love for this woman, that maybe I should. But start with strangers, because you don't really know the strangers. So if you're on a street corner, or if you're in a grocery store, you can kind of just say something to yourself that everyone here is on their own journey and we're all from the same oneness. We're just different expressions of divinity, and we're at different places in our soul's journey, because we're all spiritual beings in a human experience. Some of us have been around for many, many lifetimes, and we held a little more wisdom, so we can kind of get it. And there's other souls that are new to earth that are just getting it. And all souls are old and huge and loving and all knowing and magnificent and powerful. So we all are that. And really, in our humanness, what we're doing is stripping away the patterns, the traumas, the ancestral wounds, the constellation issues, the interference, the this, the that. And we can name it whatever we want. But in the end, what we're doing is we're anchoring more light, we're releasing the dense energy. Then we anchor in more light, we release more dense energy. So what we're doing is bringing heaven on earth, but we have to do it slowly. Because if we bring too much light in, and it bothered me when I heard this many, many years ago, if we bring in too much light in, our 3D body will burn out. I'm like, okay, that is like very disturbing to me when I heard that. And then now I understand what they mean. If we go and have a healing and we do like a quantum leap, well, our bodies can get feeling very sick, flu like, rashes. It's because so much light has come in, it's purging out a big chunk of darkness, and then our 3D body has to like resonate higher, and it goes through a lot of adjustment. So if you just do something more gradually and allow more light, take out a little bit of this, add some more light, and then what you're filling up your cup, eventually your cup's more filled with light and you feel lighter, you feel better, because your true, authentic, beautiful self is starting to shine through. So when you're in those dark places, it's not you that's dark, it's the energy that's around us. So, don't be embarrassed of it, because we're all human. We all have it. I don't care who anyone is, we're human. In our human bodies, we have duality. And duality is not the most comfortable thing, because when we have that dense energy, it can't make us do anything, but it can give us suggestions, it can give us impulses, it can give us desires. So for, say, someone who's really trying to stop drinking alcohol, well, the urge to drink is very strong. The dense energy in our system isn't making us drink, but they're making us really want to drink. So then your presence has say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold on to myself. I'm not going to drink. Okay. I usually talk to myself, okay, darkness, quiet down, because this light is not letting that happen. Now, over time, because I was able to work on myself and work on myself and work on myself, and trust me, I've done lots of work, still working on it. There's now stronger presence of light, that when these dark things kind of try to interfere with what's going on, I can spot it and say, no, that is false. I am a magnificent being of light, and you can no longer, put thoughts in my head. I won't allow it. But dark energies can make us say mean things to people, can be mean to our spouses. It's actually quite interesting, because some people say, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I said that. But I used to say some really bad things to people. And I'd say, like, why me? And I would always apologize when I came back to my senses. I say, I have no idea what came over me to say that. Well, I now, looking back, I had a lot of, interference that loved to make me hurt people so they would hurt me and I'd be alone. I get that now. So now I just have to be more in presence. So if someone's trying to irritate me, usually it's their darkness that's trying to irritate me. And I try to see through it. But sometimes if they keep coming at you, it gets a little bit annoying, or you're tired and you go, you know what, I am getting irritated by you. I need to go meditate, because it's not necessarily them. Yeah, they're doing it, but I should not be affected if I'm in alignment. So usually I tell if I'm out of alignment by irritation. That's the first thing. So if I'm getting irritated by somebody's voice, or getting irritated by what they're saying, I'm like, okay, I need to go fix me. But a lot of us are now saying, like, Brenda, I'm feeling I'm dipping. Well, that's perfect, because that awareness of you knowing you're dipping, you're ahead of the curve. You're getting there. You're starting to figure out you. So honor the feelings, work through the feelings, and do what you can to let them go. All right, I've talked a lot today. I missed you guys because I think we had a bit of a stretch. I've been talking a lot at the open house. One thing, I want to thank everyone who came to the open house. I know it's a bit of a drive out there. If you missed it and want to come see the property, I am doing individual sessions out there. So if I notice someone, I usually ask now, what location do you want it at? Because some people are closer to that one. And if you're out, do you want to have a bit of a quick tour around? So if you want to do that, feel free. We'll set up an appointment or a session and we can do that. And so I'm trying to read something here. Okay, we got an affirmation. So you know what? Affirmations are so powerful. I use affirmations every single day. They may not be the exact one, but I'm always asking for my connection. May I have clarity, calmness. May I see the light in everyone. I say no to any interference. May I stay balanced and aligned. I just talk all day. If I'm not talking to a person, I'm not talking to clients, I'm talking to my guides. And that is probably why I usually don't have my voice. That makes sense. I'm just going to look down a little bit more. We're going to get into the reason why we're here, which is the healing. But just so you know, the healing energies have already been flowing, and I've been feeling them already. So they're here and working on all of us. Okay, so I did get some emails, just so you know. Anyone who asks for a healing for themselves or for a family member, they are in my thoughts as we're doing the healing. If you want to add anything in the direct message to me, I'll have a quick review before we get into it. But no, when we're sending out this energy, it is going out to everyone on the call, anyone who's in your household, family, friends, pets. We ask for a clearing of your house. Now, let's say I'm at my house and I'm worried about my aunt in, say, Malta, and she's not doing well. So what I'll do is I'll ask the energy. I know this energy is coming through. We're all part of it. I'm going to ask that it's sent to so and so. The energy will go there. It's very intelligent. It's all by intention. Whether or not that person's higher self takes it, we don't know, but we can make it available. All right. So feel free to just make those special intentions. One thing I did want to say, okay, so I am reading some of the direct messages here, and I will include the people that are being said. Um, in one of the open houses, my partner Sim joined in the group healing, and actually it was a pretty big group. I think it was on the first day, and he kind of explained what he felt. So he can see people's auras. He's kind of got these really cool gifts, but he's been doing this since he was 5, and he comes from a line of gurus and saints. So it's in their blood to be spiritual, not like someone like me, let's say, who just started this 13 years ago because I had this calling and something happened that woke me up. So the beautiful thing is, as we started the group healing, kind of like what we're going to do today, is he could see everyone's colors and stuff. And he said the first thing he saw was the energy started from me. And we're, you know how I say we're all in this together? Well, what happens is we're all kind of blending our energies into one, and it's shifting and going wherever it needs to. And that's why it's so powerful when you're meditating in groups or doing things like that. So what he said is, after a bit, as the energy was swirling, it turned into a blue. Now blue is a very healing energy color. Now, what he said, and this is the important part, is he said he could see who was receiving. So everyone was participating, but some were receiving it more than others. So, how do you receive? And the reason I want to talk about this quickly before we start is I want you to get the biggest bang for your buck. Because if we are sending a high vibration, which we are sending it out, but you're only accepting vibration that's here, you're participating, but you're not getting the full allowance of the healing. So another example is this new energy came on Earth about March, April 2020. In meditation, what my guides told me is that I had to let that energy that was coming through that one channel and move to the new energy that was available on Earth. So it's like changing your tune on a radio dial. So how did I do that? I don't remember exactly, but I bet there was intentions involved where I said, all right, I love the energy that's been on Earth all these years, but now I am requesting that I'm tapping in the new energy that's available on Earth. I'm giving myself permission to receive this new energy. I'm giving myself permission to really take it in and heal at all levels. And my healing really accelerated after doing that, because the energy on Earth now, not the old energy, the new energy that's available, is allowing us to break our karma, our karmic loops. It's allowing us to dissolve the darkness within us faster than ever before. And this is why I tell clients that are doing energy work now, you're going to shift so much faster. Just allow it to happen, because you're tapping into this new energy. I think the energy on Earth was changing from 1987, and then there's something that happened in 2000. Then it got stronger again in 2012, and then again the big huge shift in 2020 when the energy was just really in this new energy that's helping ascension process. So just say, I give myself the permission to allow this new energy to heal me at a physical level, a mental level, emotional level, and anywhere else that I need it. Because our human mind doesn't really understand what we need, what we're doing, but our higher self know. And our journey is very unique to us. So I can't just say, okay, magic, boom, magic wand, person's healed, or I'm healed. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. But we have to just kind of like, okay, let some bad stuff out, let some good stuff out, and kind of chip away at it, right? And then another one more neat thing before we start. Okay, in the past, when we passed away, for those of you who believe in reincarnation, what would happen is we would leave the planet, come back and start over, and just come back and start over. But in this lifetime, we are now able to release, grow. So now, let's say I came on the planet here, I've done so much work, I'm here. When I leave the planet, I'm going to come back here instead of going back to our karmic loop, because we're able to release all that. And some people will disagree, but then I would just say, okay, don't take my word for it, just do it yourself, and you'll see big chunks of patterns and things are releasing. It's like, wow. And I know for a fact I don't have to relive the crap that I relived in this lifetime. And that's why I work on myself every single day, not to be perfect in this lifetime, but I just want to come back better in my next lifetime on earth. Because I don't want to I'm not replaying what I replayed. No way. But I'm glad for the experiences and all that stuff, but not doing it again. Okay, so I'm just going to read some more special intentions. Okay. So, just so you know, there are a lot of people going through a lot of emotional things, and it's kids and there's so many things happening right now. And it's hard to see your kids suffering, going through divorce, being sick, you know. Do we have to come back? Someone asked. No. Again, I don't know all the answers, but this is what I believe. When you reach a certain um, conscious level, a level of consciousness, you don't have to come back. That is my understanding. But many of us just keep coming back, keep coming back. And apparently now, if let's say there was a healer, and there was actually at one point where there were a lot of healers dropping dead very quickly, having heart attacks, like from the circle I was in. I'm just like, oh no, another one's gone. And I'm thinking, why? And this energy on earth is pretty hard. So what they've done is their higher selves just knew they would better serve by exiting out of the planet, coming back with the upgrade, because now you're getting upgrades in heaven, or you want to call it heaven, or whatever you want to call it. You get an upgrade, so you're coming back as an advanced human being who's ready for the ascension process. Some of them apparently may have passed away, and they're staying on the other side, helping, becoming a helper for healers that are working, or helping their families from a different aspect. So when people pass away, they're not really like, okay, I want to say dying. They're not dying. It's just they're changing their vehicle. So this is my car, Brenda. When I come back, I'm gonna have a different car, and it's gonna run really well, and I'm gonna be different, but it's still me. It's my soul. So I think that do we have to come back? I mean, a lot of people say I'm not coming back. I don't know if we have a choice in that. Try to meditate on it and see what answer you get. Apparently, I feel like I love planet Earth so much that I will come back, whether I leave when I'm 100, leave when I'm, the next day or whatever it is. I have this feeling I'm going to come back very quick, because I want to be part of this ascension process, and I want to help humanity. And another thing is these kids that are being born today, and I know some of you have grandchildren, some of you have babies of your own. Listen to these children. They are highly evolved beings. If they tell you something, they mean it. If they say they're seeing something, they're seeing it. If they're hearing something, they're hearing it. They're not crazy. The worst thing is when you tell a kid it's all in your head, you're not seeing it. It's hurtful. I was like, okay, nobody. But then you can tell them, I trust you, I believe you. But there's you can't just tell everyone. Kids are so smart, they get it. They get who they can tell and who they can't tell of what's happening, because they're very in tune. They're very intuitive, these children. And a lot of these children are going to lead us through the ascension process. So there's a lot of wisdom coming in with these newborns. And they might surprise you that they're eating faster on their own, they're talking and walking faster. That's because they are more evolved. And that there's just tons of stuff happening. But this new energy that they have, we can get by getting rid of the dense energy and tapping into the new energies. We can increase our abilities and change and grow. We don't have to pass on and come back. We can do it in this lifetime. This is where human evolution is happening right now, and we can be a part of it by allowing us for it to happen based on our soul's journey. Wow. Okay, it is like really late. Okay, I have a lot of intentions there. I have read them all. We are going to start. I'm not allowed to talk again. I'm going to give you a minimum of 20 minutes of energy, and it might be 25. Let's just get in the flow and see where this goes. All right, everyone, putting on the music. Let's see, we'll go right here. I'm going to share it so you can hear it better. Okay, if you have any other questions, you can write them and I'll just write them back afterwards, okay? All right, everyone, enjoy. Just there's nothing you need to do. Just close your eyes, sit up, lay down. Just allow this energy to penetrate and give permission to have it work, either physically, mentally, emotionally, or at all levels. I just say, just be general. Just say, do whatever I need, because I really don't know what I need, but your guides do. All right, here we go.
Sina Yedu Sina Inga Haniu See you Emmi uni uania heiuri dasi yanin hallu minaba em mahengisi
Okay. All right. Okay, everyone. The energy is going to continue to work for 4 or 5 days. Just allow it to do whatever it needs to do. You're all in protection bubbles. We ask for a peaceful sleep. You may feel very thirsty. Feel free to drink as much water as you want to release those toxins, let them go. You're all very you're all very welcome. We all were in that together. It was very beautiful. So I will benefit from it, as all of you will benefit from it. People in our household, our pets, our homes will all feel a little lighter, and we'll just keep allowing it to work. All right, everyone. Have a peaceful sleep. And I'm just looking. I think the next one's I think it's in 2 Tuesdays from now, Tuesday, May 17th, it says. So I'll send out the replay of this. I will send out the link again for those that need it. And happy Mother's Day to everyone. Yes, it's coming on Sunday. I'm gonna go to the farmhouse with my mom and my daughter and my boys and just chill out, just have a down day. Yeah, and I think it's gonna be sunny. So thank goodness, we all need some sunshine. All right, everyone, have a peaceful sleep. If you have any questions afterwards, feel free to email me. There was a question if you can share this with anyone. Yeah, go ahead. Just give them the link. They can link up to it. And if they join a call, then they usually stay on the list unless they ask to be removed. So you can go ahead and, if you want to share this, that's more than fine. Okay, everyone. I just want to see. uh, yeah, okay, good. Well, lots of thank yous. Well, we're all in this together, so thank you for joining. So, it makes me vibrate very quickly and very high with everyone's energy there. So, we're all in this together. We're co-creating a healing, and just allow it, pull it in, and say, yes, I give permission for myself to take it. And I know that's what I'm going to do. I say yes, allow it to do whatever's needed. I always kind of ask for my throat because I think I've always think my asthma's going away and then it pops back up. So I'm not sure how many layers I got to go to let this out, but whatever it is, that's who I am for this part of my life, and I'll just deal with it. All right, everyone, sweet dreams, be well, and stay happy. Yeah, happy and positive and the best that you can. Oh, my computer's about to die, so I better go before I just go bonk. All right, everyone. Have a good night. See ya.